Hello, it is the MEVE podcast tuning in, and today we are going to be talking about B2B content strategy. This is going to be a pretty interesting one. I'm going to be talking about some founder case studies and stuff like that, and people that are doing pretty good with content that you may have heard of or may have not have heard of. But yeah, we're going to get straight into it. Shout out to Erwin McManus. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But yeah, I watched a YouTube video from him about a week ago, and some of the things that he said resonated with me. So I'm gonna kind of repeat and emphasize on some of the points that he made. But yeah, let me just say that founders are not just business leaders; they are storytellers with the power to shape industries and inspire audiences. So today, I want to discuss and explore content creation through the lens of founders, showcasing case studies that demonstrate the power of strategic content, and I want to take some takeaways from Erwin. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like the first point is I want to emphasize the power of storytelling. So in my ebook, I talk about this, but McManus emphasizes the importance of storytelling and content creation. Stories are powerful because people always relate to stories that resonate with themselves, whether they know it or not. This is why we love movies and connect with certain characters inside of our favorite movie. If you would like to connect with your audience, especially whenever you're trying to address a problem, you want to tell a story. Storytelling as a founder or a business owner can come into like a lot of different forms. It could be sharing your journey, challenges that you overcame, the impact that you're seeking. It can come in a lot of different forms. So Sophia Amoruso, founder of Nasty Gal, leveraged storytelling through her book Girl Boss to chronicle her rise from vintage clothing reseller to e-commerce entrepreneur. The book not only positioned her as an inspiration for aspiring female entrepreneurs, but also established Nasty Gal's brand identity. I don't know why I feel so funny saying Nasty Gal. That's how it's pronounced. That's how it's pronounced apparently, as the A instead of IR. But yeah, I feel weird just saying. Yeah, let's get to the next point. But yeah, basically, she's the founder of Girl Boss. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't. Kind of to get a sense of the brand identity. But the second one I'm very familiar with is a Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk, as some people might call him. He actually was in the wine business, I think, when he like with his dad whenever he was a younger kid, all the way up until he was like 34, and then he started VaynerMedia. And he's a content creation powerhouse. Like he leverages podcasts, daily video rants, social media posts to establish himself as a thought leader. His content is candid, insightful, and action oriented, resonating with a large and engaged audience. Gary is one of those entrepreneurs that hired an entire content agency to follow him around all day and record his meetings and discussions. And he takes like content very seriously. Like this guy's, he's one of those people like he'll get on YouTube and just be really ranting about why people should be posting content online. Like, hey, why the hell are you just not posting? Why are you barely on LinkedIn? Why are you posting on LinkedIn for 1 month and expecting to blow up, you know, immediately? Like you need to put in work, you need to put in the time, you know. But I think he puts in his hours, so I get his rants. So he puts in about I think he releases 60 to 80 pieces of content per day, which is not too far off, I think, from Alex Ramosi. I don't know Alex Ramosi's exact numbers. It's a crazy number too, maybe around that or maybe a little bit above that. But yeah, they have teams and all that. But yeah, they're very good at distributing content. So I would say to my next point is finding your unique voice. So McManus highlights the importance of authenticity and finding your unique communication style, which aligns with Gary Vee's emphasis on consistency and embracing multiple content formats. So by staying true to yourself and experimenting with different formats, you can connect with a wider audience. So there are two skills that you need to build in order to really build a strong, unique voice on social media. So I would say the first one is a platform tailored tone recognition. So in order to post on a platform and perform well, you have to know what types of posts on there perform well. I hope that's pretty simple. But yeah, I mean, people don't really execute this most of the time. Um, like LinkedIn is a professional place, so I mean, you shouldn't be on there freaking cursing. You shouldn't be on there even saying freaking. Like LinkedIn is just not that place. Your tone of voice should be just more serious. Twitter is like a less serious atmosphere. You can be a little bit more vocal. You can speak your mind. You can curse a little bit. Instagram is an app, you know, like ran by photos and kind of just showing that you got like the perfect life. So do that. You know, TikTok is like a video app where, where people just appreciate you being more authentic to your audience and showcasing your mistakes in life. Like I've seen so many videos on TikTok since I've been on there since 2020 of just people crying, like bawling out, going viral for going on there and crying about something that they have no control over, that they might be going through in their life, just like just some crazy stuff. Like I just see it. I think I seen some girl that was like 30, like tearing up because she feels like she would never. I think she was just saying that, and I felt it because I can kind of relate to it. But she was like, not the fact that she's 30, but she was just basically saying that she didn't expect her 30s to look like that, the way her life was set up. She thought she'd be in a way different space in her life, and she was just crying, because age comes kind of fast in life. Like it comes, I think after 21, you start like. For me, it was like, I mean, I'm 24 years old right now, but for me, it was after like 22, 23. I was like, oh, like, yeah, time's starting to go by fast. But yeah, she was kind of just crying and being vulnerable, and she went viral because of that. So, I mean, all that goes to say, whatever platform you're on, you got to be able to speak that language. Not saying you should go on TikTok tomorrow and start crying, but just know that it's a safe space for that. That's kind of, if somebody gets on Instagram and starts crying, it's not really gonna be, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be kind of awkward. It's gonna be like, why is this person on Instagram tearing up, ranting? You know, it's kind of gonna be off. But yeah, I mean, you got to know where you are and understand how to take one piece of content on one platform, shift it to another, tailor it to fit another platform. And yeah, that's just how the big dogs do it. That's really content recycling. That's kind of what it's called. So helps you save time from having to create new content. All you got to do is have tailored content. So that's the first point: platform tailored, tone recognition. Second one is digital self-expression. So what do you say a lot? What are the key words you use? What is the slang you use? Do you curse a lot? Or are you well mannered? Are you the king of being sarcastic? Are you the king of inside jokes? Are you pretty arrogant? Whatever it is, someone's gonna hate it, and then someone else is gonna love it. Like I said earlier, this girl was just crying because she was talking about, oh, I'm 30 and I didn't expect my life to turn out like this, or I thought I'd be in a different space in my life. So she's saying this, and I resonated with it. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words, but I resonated with it because I felt like that at one point in my life. So whatever you are, just be it, because someone's gonna hate it, someone's gonna resonate with it, someone's gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? You got to become polarizing on the internet by being authentic. Everyone on the internet has massive audiences is polarizing. You got to look at Andrew Tate, like how he took over 2023, because like 50% of America hated him, 50% of America loved him. If you want to constantly be a part of a conversation, you got to be polarizing. You need to catch attention from both sides. You got to have more eyes on what you're saying. So this is not something that you try to do. It's not something you try to do. It's something that you simply just do, like just by being you, being your full authentic self on the internet. And people can sense kind of when you're trying to do it. That's why trying doesn't work. You can try to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to go back on my point about Andrew Tate, you could try to get on the internet and talk about women in some type of way that you feel like might, make them feel upset. And if you're trying, people can sense that you're trying. But if you genuinely have full conviction in your words whenever you're talking and you're backing up, you're backing up everything that you're talking about with facts. People can sense that you have a strong belief and sense in that position. Then you become more polarizing when it's very real, when it's really fully authentic, and people feel like, okay, this is how he feels. Like he's not trying to do stuff. So you got to know the difference between the two. My next point is understanding your audience. So McManus delves into the concept of communication frequencies, which represent different approaches to communication and their impact on the audience. So by understanding your audience and the preferred frequencies, you can tailor your content to resonate with them, pretty much. And that goes back on another point I wanted to address, which is called like learning the skill of kind of self regressing. So self regressing is basically like putting yourself in your audience's shoes. So you need to repeatedly put yourself in like their headspace. And you can do this easily if you're like solving a problem that you once had difficulty with yourself. All you need to do is continually connect with that part of your old self and see what you really would have valued hearing at that stage in your journey of like trying to figure out that problem. Um, definitely easier than I made it sound. But yeah, I mean, for example, like if you're a person that gets online and trains executives on how to hire people, you can tailor certain questions to different stages that you experience when trying to conquer this problem. So at the beginning of my journey, when I was struggling with how to hire employees, what really made me confident in my decision making was the three tips. You can say something like that on the internet. Um, you can think about who you met along the journey, when you really got decent at hiring people, and what made you great. Like, what advice made you great during that time? What made you feel very confident about your decisions regarding hiring people along the end of your journey? These are questions that you got to ask. You got to get really good at asking these questions. Um, the next point I would say is just leading with your heart and your mind. So McManus emphasized the importance of avoiding manipulation and dictatorship when you're creating content. Authenticity and service is at the forefront. Like I said earlier, do not try to do or try to be anything. Simply be yourself. And this goes with Michael Hyatt's approach of using content to not only educate but also to build relationships and foster a loyal community. So if you want to know how to be as authentic as possible when creating content, the most authentic form of content creation is just documentation. That's it. You got to document, not create. So like you want to build the skill of real-time documentation. You want to build the habit of getting out of a meeting and then tweeting your notes right after, or discussing the conversation you had with your colleague on LinkedIn. So you want to talk about a problem that your client faced that day and how you helped them solve that problem. And you turn it into a skill whenever you learn how to do this within a few words. You turn it into a skill when you learn how to do this with a good hook and structure a tailor with a structured tailor format every time. Um, there's like value in messing up and just being free because it really fosters the authenticity. But make sure it's on the right platforms. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's at the right time, at the right place. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you know where you were at all times, and you can only know where you at by being on there. You have to be on social media. You got to be, and that shouldn't be hard. Most people have a hard time getting off of social media, not getting on. But once you're on there, you would know, you will understand. Like you'll put two and two together and pretty much understand. But yeah, let's go to this another case study. Michael Hyatt. This guy is the former CEO of Thomas Nelson Publishers, transitioned to become a sought after productivity expert. Utilizes a blog, podcast, and online courses to share his insights and become a go to resource for busy professionals. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty good, I guess, in innovation and problem solving. He argues that innovative content is the act of explaining how to solve a problem everyone experiences in a unique way. So, and this echoes the approach of a lot of successful founders who like identify a gap in the market and then create solutions that like revolutionize the entire industry. So, like innovative content basically means stop saying whatever the fuck everybody else is saying. Stop, stop getting on the internet and saying all these. I don't even know what the word for it is, but these phrases that you hear like you've almost been hearing them for years. Like the typical phases. Some of them might be true, but they're kind of emphasized and explained and spoken about in the same way. Like something I've always heard growing up is like these short phrases like life is short, money is the root of all evil. Um, you can think of a plethora of them, just like these phrases that be kind to others, like a lot of different phrases, or I mean, treat people how you want to be treated. These are things I've heard them since kindergarten. So if somebody tweets this, if somebody puts this on LinkedIn, if somebody puts it, regardless if it's right or not, regardless of whether you believe in it or not, somebody has heard it. Somebody's already heard it before. It's not really spoken about in an innovative way. So there was a lot of time when a lot of information did not exist on the internet. There was a time earlier, 10 years from now, of course, 10 years ago, 10 years before that, when you could search up certain things on the internet and things would not pop up for you. Things just wouldn't exist on the internet. Like there was just a digital space gap. So, over the years, the internet has grown. More content is being produced. More people are filling up gaps. More people are using SEO and filling up these keywords. So, just like the internet has grown, just like businesses, there's certain markets that are like very, very saturated. There are like a lot of markets that are very saturated. So, like if you're in the B2B space, you might notice there's like a lot of old, outdated information being discussed online that has flooded the internet. So to go back on that point, a lot of people are tired. People are tired of trying. A lot of people go to the internet to fix their problems. People are now they're even going to chat gbt and AI to go fix their problem to a more deeper extent. The other day I just searched up a problem on chat gbt. Like I tried to find a local agency around Austin using chat gbt. I'd even go to, I mean, I went to Google to go to Gemini. Like I went to, because I didn't even feel like trying to go through different articles. So like things are changing. People are changing the way that they're like looking for information because they're tired of like getting nowhere, getting stuck at a dead end, getting the same information. People are tired of searching up stuff and getting the same information when they're searching up for things or trying to fix a problem. Imagine somebody that's been fighting an addiction for 5 to 6 years, maybe an alcoholic addiction, and they've talked to people. Matter of fact, before they even talk to people, they try to figure out how they can do it themselves. So they went on the internet and they tried to search for every possible solution. And they went on YouTube and everybody was saying the same thing. Oh, I don't know what it, I don't know. I can't even be speaking on this stuff because I never had an alcoholic addiction or anything. But let's just say the solution for alcoholic addiction is drinking, salt water or something like that as an example. So imagine everybody on the internet saying, "Oh, you cure alcohol addiction by drinking salt water," but that might not even be true. That just might be the only information that's on the internet. There might be somebody out there that knows the real cure, but it's not on the internet. It's not in the digital space. So imagine this person has given up on the internet now because he's been searching up for 2 to 3 years how to cure this alcoholic addiction, and all he keeps running into is salt water, salt water, salt water. So now you come in and you're the person that comes and it's like, no, it's not salt water. That's not how you cure alcoholic addiction. It's sugar water. So now this person is like sugar water, and then he tries it, and then he ends up being attracted to you because he's like, this dude changed my life. If it wasn't for him, I would have been addicted for it. Like he was the first person on the internet that said, oh, it's not salt water, it's sugar water. As stupid as it sounds. As stupid as that sounds, but I hope y'all get my analogy. Um, but yeah, people understand certain concepts better if they're spoken, shown, or illustrated in different ways more than others. And we're now entering an age where people have heard it all, and people want to solve a problem without hearing the solution they always heard. This is why I gravitate towards Reddit. Reddit has a lot of real people expressing an opinion that isn't oversaturated or discussed for views, likes, and validation. This is why Alex Ramosi blew up in 2023. He was on the internet saying non-conventional things. He was on the internet, like one of the first people on the internet saying like openly, yeah, like if you don't want to go to college, fuck college. Like you don't have to go to college if you don't want to go to college. If you got to choose between college or starting a business, well, technically, I'd rather take 10,000 and pay a mentor than take 10,000 and pay this university. Like he was saying open stuff like that. Same with Gary Vee, and a lot of people weren't on the internet bold enough to say that. So it's about innovative content. You got to learn how to produce innovative content. This is also the art of explaining something in a way that you really can digest or look at and state like, wow, I've never heard it put that way. You got to have people have those, wow, I've never heard it put that way, those type of moments. Some common examples of my most recent, like, wow, I've never heard it put that way moments like that I encountered myself, includes a sales coach that got on the internet stating that if you go the quick route towards success and want instant results, you'll be running success. So I've never heard someone say that you be running success by taking shortcuts. Like I've heard somebody say, don't take shortcuts. Everybody's heard that before. If you play sports in high school, you've heard, don't take the shortcuts. Go, we're gonna go all the way. But I've never heard somebody say, hey, if you want quick results, if you want instant results, then you're gonna be running your success. I've never heard it put that way. Another example of like the same wow, I've never heard it put that way moment would be a founder named Augustine. He stated that maturity turns blessings profitable, immaturity turns blessings into curses. So I've never heard this phrase before. And Augustine, he's like I think he's like a cybersecurity business owner, and he's making a lot of money. Um, Definitely in the 7-figure route, but he's blowing up pretty fast on the internet. I said he's making a lot of money because I think the last video I watched from him, he was saying that he made 1 million last year, um, or I think a little over 1 million. I don't know, 1.5 mil, and he said his bills were a mil. So I don't know. That just popped up in my head when I said he made a lot of money for some reason. But yeah, I mean, he's blowing up pretty fast because he's on the internet saying a lot of controversial things. He's saying a lot of things that were kind of just never put that way type moments. So you got to learn how to think laterally with your current expertise and explain concepts in a unique way. You got to learn that. Embrace challenges and criticism. McManus acknowledges the challenges of facing negativity and criticism as a content creator. However, he emphasized the importance of staying true to your vision and purpose. So once you start having haters and trolls, you should know and acknowledge that you're on the right path. You're gaining and garnering enough attention that your content is running into people that love it and people that hate it. So that's a good thing. Don't panic. Don't worry. Just know that this is all a part of the journey. Everyone doesn't like Elon Musk. Everyone doesn't like Donald Trump. Everyone doesn't like Jeff Bezos, and that's fine. Embrace the path and keep going. Next is building community. McManus highlights the importance of fostering a community around your content. This can be achieved through interactive elements, social media engagement, or even online masterminds, as he offers through the arena. So once you get to the point of gaining enough consistent interaction from your audience, you need to capitalize by capturing your audience. This either means having an email address or having a phone number, either or. Your audience's tag names or social content platforms is not enough information to keep. Social platforms are constantly changing, things are being banned, algorithms changing, paywalls, advertisements being shown over you. Like there's going to be a plethora of things that come. So you got to own your audience. So to conclude, by incorporating storytelling and authenticity, innovation, and a community-driven approach, founders can leverage content creation to build a strong personal brand and propel their businesses forward. Remember, as McManus, that's a really crazy last name, McManus, that's crazy. But reminds us through true wisdom lies in connecting the dots and understanding the impact of your content has on your audience. Embrace continuous learning, cultivate your creativity, and strive to make a positive impact through your content.